In the intricate tapestry of interstellar politics and the aftermath of a galaxy-spanning conflict, the foundation of the Convocation stood as a testament to the resilience of unity over adversity. Yet, the tendrils of intrigue and power plays threatened to unravel the fragile peace that had been so dearly bought. At the heart of the Convocation's leadership was Sovereign Talus Une, a figure whose transformation from a hardened warrior to a wise and just leader was as remarkable as it was inspiring. Une's past, marked by the scars of loss and the wisdom of hard-fought battles, was documented in a detailed dossier that was carefully updated with each decision and revelation, ensuring a consistent and compelling character arc. Alongside him stood Admiral Jonathan Silverian, a man whose strategic acumen had been forged in the fires of the galaxy's most harrowing conflicts. The timeline of Silverian's career was meticulously charted, from his early days as a brash young officer to the seasoned admiral who bore the weight of past sacrifices, most notably the loss of his closest friend, Captain Meowing, whose death had left an indelible mark on his soul. The Convocation itself was an alliance of necessity, born from the ashes of war and composed of civilizations that had once eyed each other with distrust. The political dynamics within this assembly were as complex as they were precarious. A voluminous compendium outlined the intricate web of historical alliances and animosities, ensuring that each narrative development was a natural extension of the established lore. Within this delicate balance of power, the Ildari Confederation's recent maneuverings for influence raised eyebrows. Their tepid support during the war had been a sore point, and their current ambitions necessitated a well-crafted justification. The Ildari dossier revealed a culture of long-term strategy and patience. Their actions were not out of character, but rather a culmination of a centuries-old plan to ascend at a time when the galaxy was most malleable. Human technology had played a pivotal role in the reconstruction efforts, and its portrayal in the narrative required careful handling. A catalog of technological assets was maintained vigilantly, with each device and system described in detail, its capabilities and limitations explicitly noted. When advancements occurred or when a piece of technology failed, reasons were provided, rooted in research breakthroughs or the depletion of resources. The cultural richness of the galaxy was epitomized by the Riskarians, whose reverence for knowledge and history was woven into the very fabric of their society. A cultural dossier on the Riskarians detailed their library's grandeur, their practices of knowledge preservation, and their philosophical outlook on the universe. This repository ensured that any reference to Riskarian culture in the narrative was consistent and resonated with their established values. The geopolitical landscape of the post-conflict galaxy was another area where meticulous attention to detail was essential. A star map served as the visual cornerstone of the narrative, with each planet, star system, and their political affiliations clearly marked. A historical log accompanied the map, noting any territorial changes resulting from the story's events, ensuring that the geopolitical narrative remained coherent. Character relationships, particularly those between Une, Silverian, and the historian Calum, were charted with precision. Their interactions, informed by their shared experiences and evolving circumstances, were documented to reflect a believable and natural development. When shifts in their dynamics occurred, they were never without cause. Each was a thoughtful reflection of the story's progression. Calum, the historian whose understanding of the past provided a lens through which to view the present, was entrusted with a vast historical database. This compendium was not just a reference for his character, but a cornerstone of the narrative's integrity. It ensured that Calum's insights into historical patterns were consistent with the established timeline, and his contributions to the plot were always in harmony with the galaxy's recorded events. It was within this meticulously crafted framework that the narrative unfolded. Sovereign Talus Une, once a commander who had led fleets into the heart of darkness, stood before the convocation with a presence that commanded respect. His backstory, rich with battles won and loved ones lost, informed his every decision and interaction, providing depth to his plea for continued unity. Admiral Jonathan Silverian, the tactician whose name was synonymous with the convocation's most decisive victories, now faced a different kind of battle. The timeline of his past, marked by strategic gambits and personal sacrifices, was a constant undercurrent in his pursuit of peace and stability. The Ildari Confederation, with their grand designs, now faced the challenge of justifying their quest for power. Their dossier revealed a complex society that viewed the Reconstruction era as a chessboard, every move calculated to bring about a checkmate in their favor. As the convocation convened to celebrate the inauguration of the Riskarians' new Grand Library, a marvel of architecture and a symbol of a culture that revered knowledge above all, the narrative wove together the many threads it had meticulously maintained. The grandeur of the Riskarians was not just in the structure itself, but in the cultural significance it held, a beacon of light and learning in a galaxy still healing from the scars of war. Technology, the lifeblood of Reconstruction, hummed through the veins of the galaxy, its consistency and evolution carefully recorded and rationalized. From the rebuilding of the war-torn Terran outposts to the deployment of advanced Eldari terraforming equipment, each piece of technology served a purpose and adhered to its defined capabilities. The geopolitical landscape, now shifting like the sands of the desert worlds of the Outer Rim, was a delicate dance of diplomacy and strategy. The star map was a reminder of the vastness of the galaxy and the fragility of its alliances. With every new peace treaty signed, with every border dispute settled, the map was updated, a historical record of the galaxy's ever-changing face. And at the core of the story's heart, the relationships between its characters ebbed and flowed like the tides of the oceanic planets of Blue Haven. Sovereign Une's stoic leadership was the counterbalance to Admiral Silverian's strategic brilliance, their camaraderie born from respect and shared trials. The evolution of their relationship was a subtle yet powerful force, driving the narrative forward with every choice and challenge they faced. Calum, the historian whose passion for the past had always been his guiding star, found himself at a crossroads. His database of historical events, once a mere tool for his scholarly pursuits, had become a key to understanding the present. His analyses and predictions, drawn from the deep well of history, were not merely academic exercises but vital insights that shaped the strategies of the convocation. As the narrative unfolded, the threads of past and present intertwined. Sovereign Une was faced with a revelation about his lineage, a truth that had the potential to shake the foundations of his leadership. With care, the dossier of his past was consulted, and the new details were woven into the existing tapestry without a seam showing, maintaining the integrity of his character. Admiral Silverian, too, encountered echoes of his past decisions. An old battle strategy he had devised was now being studied at the military academy, and the implications of his tactics were being questioned. The timeline was clear, his decisions and their outcomes documented with precision, allowing the narrative to explore the consequences of his actions without contradiction. The Ildari Confederation's political play was brought to light when a long-lost treaty was discovered in the archives of the Grand Library. The backstory, rich with the political chess of the Ildari, provided the necessary groundwork for this surprise to be plausible, adding depth and intrigue to the story. Technology was put to the test when a crisis on the mining colony of Draken's Ridge required a rapid response. The catalog of technology was referenced, and a believable solution was presented, one that did not exceed the established capabilities of the technology that had been so carefully documented. The Riskarians, in their pursuit of knowledge, found themselves at a cultural crossroads when an ancient artifact was brought to light. The cultural dossier, brimming with details of their reverence for history, allowed for a nuanced portrayal of their reaction, a blend of excitement and trepidation consistent with their character. The geopolitical landscape was reshaped when a dormant wormhole reactivated, linking distant star systems and altering trade routes. The star map and historical log provided a clear understanding of the implications, and the narrative responded with a logical progression of events. In the end, the relationships between characters like Une, Silverion, and Kalem were tested as they navigated these new challenges. Their documented histories and interactions provided a strong framework for their evolving dynamics, ensuring that each development was a natural progression of their story. Kalem's role became more crucial as the historian's insights proved to be prophetic. His historical database, once a collection of bygone events, was now a beacon, guiding the convocation through the murky waters of the present, informed by the lessons of the past.